preparing. I think the rematch with Roach versus Gervonta can actually be more exciting than the first one. In my opinion, I've said this many times.
He gotta play this tough role, you know what I mean?
I heard you say that. You said you're playing tough up there.
Yeah, that's all he's doing. He's just playing tough.
Quoted saying that it doesn't matter how much money a man has, he can still be jealous. Like, why Floyd would be jealous of Gervonta Davis?
At the press conference, Gervonta Davis lost his cool after seeing Floyd Mayweather seemingly throw support behind Lamont Roach. Davis accused Floyd of constantly pulling stunts like the Savin when they were on the same promotional team. Vented about how Mayweather has a history of showing up for others while subtly undermining him, suggesting these moments weren't new, but signs of a long-standing, held in tension between them that's finally boiling over in public.
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focusing on. He already did what he had to do, bro.
Floyd Mayweather once infamously scheduled an exhibition fight. On the same day as a press conference for Gervonta Davis, many believed this move was deliberately timed to steal the spotlight from Davis. In response, Davis openly called Mayweather out, claiming jealousy was at the heart of it. Said Floyd always sought the spotlight for himself, even at his protégé's expense. His recent clash only reignited those feelings, exposing a rivalry that still lingers in boxing's inner circles.
Floyd, I want to switch gears real quick, man. Gervonta said, I'm not signed to a single soul. So is Tank now a free agent, or is he still signed with Mayweather Promotions?
Well, this is the Mayweather-Deji press conference. So I'm here to talk about Dubai. I'm here to talk about entertaining the people, having fun, and I'm not here to talk disrespectful or bad about any fighter. You know, they say America is the land of the free. You know, so we live, we love, and we keep striving each and every day. That's what life is about.
Back when Davis was set to face Frank Martin, Mayweather once again chose the other corner, offering his support and even training with Martin. According to Davis, Floyd leaked his techniques, putting him in a compromised position. Martin, for his part, credited Floyd for helping him gain confidence and refine his skill set. While Floyd's advice helped Martin grow, painted him as someone who backed others when it suited him even if it meant crossing his former fighter.
I remember you talking about doing the pad work with Floyd, and he said you got the speed and the power to be a world champ. What did that do for your confidence? You can hear that from anybody, but Floyd is Floyd.
It was just motivation, you know, because at that time too, man, I ain't had that IQ that I got now. So at that point, I was just really going off natural athleticism. So for him to tell me at that time, getting deeper in my bag, trying to understand the game.
It's not like basketball where you got to depend on people. It's not like football. Like the work that you put in reflects directly with your results. People don't even know the amount of hours that y'all put into this.
We ain't got no backup. We got a bad day, whatever. We ain't got nobody to come through for us. It's all on you.
Davis has repeatedly expressed that Mayweather struggles to fully celebrate the success of others, viewing it as a threat to his own legacy. He believes this ego-driven mindset kept Floyd from supporting a Davis versus Roach rematch. According to Davis, Floyd prioritizes staying in the spotlight rather than helping elevate his career. This attitude, Davis claims, has blocked opportunities and exposed a deep disconnect between mentor and fighter that never truly healed.
You know, so I don't want Tank to necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. You know, fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, you know, Gamboa. Like, those aren't the fights that we want.
During sparring with Devin Haney, Davis noticed a troubling pattern. He says Mayweather would frequently stop the session the moment he started dominating. These constant interruptions frustrated Davis, who believed Mayweather was favoring Haney and holding him back. For Davis, these moments weren't just inconvenient, they felt like lost chances for growth. He began to question whether Floyd was ever truly invested in seeing him thrive or simply managing narratives.
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I like what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't follow him for like stand to himself and things like that. You know what I mean? But it's also a part of me type thing, like come back and help too. You know what I mean? So it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion. You know what I mean? Ain't no bad blood type shit. And a lot of people think like when I be tweeting on Instagram, I be mad. I just be talking.
Insiders close to the situation confirm that friction between Davis and Mayweather has existed for years. They've clashed over everything from who Davis should fight to how he trains. Mayweather has often questioned Davis's judgment even, when it came to high-stakes bouts involving legacy and massive payouts. But as Davis now enters camp with new focus and intensity, even Floyd seems surprised. With his reputation on the line, Davis is leaving no room for mistakes.
So the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is being targeted for June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I mean, I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round. But as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds, he kept landing a lot more left hands and body shots. So Tank just needs to make this a dogfight, get into more exchanges, and that's where he'll land a lot more punches on Roach. When he's sitting on the back foot waiting for a counter, that's where Roach is comfortable and winning most of the rounds. So if Tank can fight the same way he did against Ryan Garcia, rounds 3 to 7, against Mario Barrios in the later rounds, or Frank Martin rounds 4 to 8, if he's the one on the front foot, then I do think he'll stop Roach in the rematch.
Fans are eagerly awaiting the rematch between Davis and Roach, especially after the controversies of the first fight. Many felt the stoppage was questionable and the judging left too much uncertainty. This next bout is seen as necessary not just to settle the score, but to define the futures of both fighters. Las Vegas is likely to host the rematch, giving the event global exposure. For Davis, it's redemption. For Roach, it's a chance to prove he's elite.
Lamont Roach throwing his hands fast as hell. He's in the gym preparing. I think the rematch with Roach versus Gervonta can actually be more exciting than the first one. In my opinion, I've said this many times, the actual fight itself wasn't that crazy. The crazy thing is what you've never seen before, the knee. As far as a boxing match, it was, if you look at the copy box, they didn't throw a lot of punches. It wasn't like, it wasn't really a great fight. But as far as the fight itself, the second one can't, because I think Tank is coming for blood. He's not going to pull his punches at all. I don't think he really did the first time, but I'm not sure how well he prepared or how mentally focused he was. I think you're going to get the very best Tank in a rematch, and you may just get an even better Lamont Roach, since Lamont Roach don't have to speculate if he's good enough. He fought Tank. He has more confidence now than he did before, and he felt that he was robbed. So he's going to be on one. I think the rematch is going to be far more exciting.
Davis's split from Mayweather Promotions made headlines when their disagreements became public. While Floyd wanted to carefully guide Davis's rise, Davis pushed back, wanting more say over his career. This power struggle exposed a bigger issue. Davis craved freedom, while Floyd demanded loyalty. In the end, Davis chose independence, accepting the risks that came with it. Their fallout became a case study in how complicated mentorship can get at the highest levels of boxing.
Gervonta said, "I'm not signed to a single soul." So is Tank now a free agent, or is he still signed with Mayweather Promotions?
Well, this is the Mayweather Deji press conference. So I'm here to talk about Dubai. I'm here to talk about entertaining the people, having fun. And I'm not here to talk disrespectful or bad about any fighter. They say America is the land of the free. So we live, we love, and we keep striving each and every day. That's what life is about.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle and longtime boxing trainer, shared his thoughts on the Davis-Roach fight. He admitted the outcome surprised him, though he stopped short of calling it a robbery. Jeff still praised Davis, but acknowledged that Roach's performance did some real damage. In his view, other fighters are starting to believe that Davis is beatable. It's a sign that even those close to the Mayweather circle are recognizing a changing of the guard in the sport.
Jeff Mayweather here at the Mayweather Boxing Club. How are you doing, sir?
Okay.
You don't look okay.
No. Well, I am.
All right. Well, we got this potential rematch everybody wants to see. Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. First of all, are you surprised that everybody's wanting to see a rematch between these two? Because no one expected it to be a close fight in the first place.
That much is true. And me, myself, I mean, I'm a big Tank fan. And I was shocked. I was shocked at the outcome of the fight.
Who did you have winning the fight?
I had Roach winning the fight.
Yeah. Do you consider it robbery, or do you lean Roach and are cool with the draw?
I wouldn't say it was a robbery. I mean, the fight was close. But if I was a judge, I would have gave Roach the fight.
All right. Well, talking about this rematch, what do you? I mean, so the one thing Tank always had for him, everyone, he had that kind of almost like Mike Tyson-esque, right? The air of invincibility, the knockout power. People were scared of him, that
Right.
kind of thing. Do you think what Roach did to him, moving up in weight, and not being a big puncher himself, but able to withstand Tank, that kind of his air of invincibility has maybe been slightly diminished?
I won't say it's been diminished, but I do think that more people, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore.
And do you think that's almost something that could play in Tank's hand, right? Maybe we had an off day. Everybody has an off day, and take him.
Yeah, everybody can have off night, but I think the one thing that is the most important thing that nobody's talking about is the fact that they did fight each other when they were young, growing up, when they were kids.
Roach's team wasn't quiet after the first fight. They harshly criticized referee Steve Willis for how he handled key moments. They argued that Roach's best sequences weren't given proper weight, shifting the entire narrative of the fight. Their take is that it wasn't just what happened in the ring, it was the officiating that decided the result. These claims have kept the debate alive and made a rematch feel like a necessary course correction, not just another payday.
Obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So
right, but you say you don't think he willing though.
Yeah, whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fucking around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on,
Take no
ref.
time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Yeah, fuck that
Fuck
nigga.
Yeah.
You know how many
put Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. Right. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref will be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight's off.
Shocker Stevenson, one of the most technically gifted fighters in the division, threw major respect toward Roach after the fight. Having sparred with Roach, Stevenson knew firsthand how smart and disciplined he could be in the ring. He predicted that Roach would mix speed with tactical sharpness, which could make Davis's usual power game ineffective. With someone like Stevenson vouching for Roach, the fight looks far from one-sided. It's now a true clash of styles.
I mean, both saying like, that's something that y'all would do. You sparred Lamont before, right?
For sure, yeah. Actually, he was the one who got me ready for Oscar Valdez.
Oh, Lamont Roach did?
Lamont Roach was the guy who really got me ready for that fight.
What was the work like?
It was good work. Honestly, that was one of the reasons why I bet tonight. Because I knew what I was in the ring with. Like, I knew that he wasn't no pushover, he wasn't no slouch. And when I seen that, I said, okay, when he fight Tank, I know that it's going to be the fight that I assumed it to be honest.
Hold on, because you was saying that, I ain't gonna lie, you was on Twitter been saying, like, you feel like, I don't know, if you didn't say Lamont was gonna win, but you just kept making it like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what you were saying, but you kept alluding to Lamont was gonna do something. So, like, you saying you seen this, the way the fight played out based on how your sparring session went?
I'm not gonna say how the sparring session went just because of the fact that I'm a different fighter than what Tank is.
Yeah.
And it's like sparring and fighting two different things. But I knew what I was up against when I was sparring him. Like, I knew the skill level. And I also, I watch boxing, so I go back and watch. And these guys go back and watch, and they looking like, okay, well, he was in front of this guy, so it was this. But styles make fights. And I know that Tank is shorter. He's fast, but Lamont got good defense. And I just knew exactly how that fight was going to go. I told everybody that Lamont was going to be the one pushing forward. Tank was going to be the boxer, and it literally looked exactly how I thought it was going to look.
How did you see the actual fight? Like, let's break it down, because you was ringside. You sat. I saw you on Twitter. They showed the videos of you ringside. What did you see in the fight?
Shit, I kind of seen Lamont winning. I really felt like he was in control of the fight.
Meanwhile, Gary Russell Jr., another respected former champion, gave a more cautious review. He agreed that Roach kept up with Davis round for round, but argued that it wasn't enough. Russell believes a fighter needs to clearly take control to win, and Roach fell just short. His take is that the rematch needs to be decisive, no more split scorecards or razor-thin rounds. The public wants closure, and both men now have something massive on the line.
Who's doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table, and he says that Lamont Roach is we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all of that. He says what most people say, hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing. And the fight is going to be similar, but hey, the fight at the same time is going to be very different. Now, I just happen to have a very good friend named Phoenix the Assassin who breaks down fights for me. He's a trainer, got a world-class eye for fights. And what he speculated should be the difference between the first fight and the second fight for Gervonta is that Gervonta is going to need to spend a lot more time fighting on the outside and scoring points for a longer period of time on the outside, and then making sure that, and basically forcing Lamont Roach to try to initiate something with slower hands, score his points, and get out. And he said the reason that he believes that Lamont Roach would be able to do that.
In preparation for the rematch, Davis has thrown himself into a rigorous training schedule. Every jab, every movement, every round is part of a master plan to erase any doubts. He's not just trying to win, he's aiming to make a statement that leaves no room for interpretation. Davis understands that barely edging out Roach won't cut it this time. He's training for a knockout. determined to remind everyone why he was once considered untouchable at the top of the division.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They say it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he gonna go in there confident thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off. I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's going to get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. I feel like you was in your head too much. You was overconfident. And you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like, I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont. This from the same camp. We from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you got to think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one that like got to step back from a situation. That's why I think he being hushed right now, because when he come this time, it ain't no talking. And that's why I think it's scary, because we never see Tank in that mode where he don't say a word. I think this gonna be a different Tank. And what's crazy is Tank used to be like that in the beginning, like when he was with Floyd. Like, I'm talking about Tank with the fade, with the waves, bro. He ain't used to be on that showboat and stuff until he got, like, a little bit more in the boxing, thing. Of course, once you with Floyd, you're going to start being flashy and doing backflips off the ring.